morning, y'all, and welcome back to the kitchen. I'm going to be kind of busy today. They had asparagus on sale for 67 cents, and I bought 10 bundles of it, and I'm going to be canning it in my pressure canner. The last time they had it on sale, I freeze-dried a bunch of it. But what I'm doing is trimming the ends down to where it'll fit in my 1.5 jars. And I want it below the line here, so I'm having to cut a little bit more of it off. And what I've done, the ends that I chopped the ends about that much off of all of it, and I'm putting those, because a lot of them are tender enough to use, I'm putting those on the dehydrator, and I will make cream of asparagus soup with them. I'll powder them. But right now I'm going to finish getting these ready. And I may have more than one canner full, I'm not sure. But I'm going to get these ready to go in the canner. So bring the camera down where y'all can kind of see how I'm packing it in the jars. This is a 1.5 jar, so I'm going to have to treat it like a quart. I will pressure it at 10 pounds for my altitude for 40 minutes. And I'm going to put 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt in it, because I would put 1/2 in a pint, a teaspoon in a quart. So since it's a 1.5 pints, I'll put 3/4 teaspoon of pink Himalayan salt. And then I just put boiling water in it, and I've washed my jars. I'm not putting them in the oven to keep them hot, and I'm not putting them in the dishwasher, because they will sterilize in the cooking process. Okay, what I'm doing is I'm just taking me some, and I think that a few of these are going to have to be trimmed a little bit. They look a little bit long, that one. And I'm just putting it down in the jar, and if you kind of lay it on its side, you can get it all down in there good. So let me get this one done, show y'all what I'm doing. I haven't canned asparagus before. I freeze dried it, and I have canned a ton of other stuff. But I haven't pressure canned asparagus. So I will be very proud to have this in my pantry, let me just tell you. I think I can get some more. Now the bottle canning book says to pack it tightly, so that is what I'm going to do, and put as much in here as I can. If I line all the tops up, then I'm not wasting some that's already been trimmed. See the difference in the... Just keep sticking them in there and making sure they fit. I want to have my headspace right so it'll seal good. Now this may not be how somebody else does it. I'm not saying this is the perfect method. I'm just showing y'all what I'm doing today. I'm packing my jars. That one can hold a little bit more with asparagus. So I'll have it when I get ready for some. I'm the only one at my house that likes it, unless I take it and toast it in the roast it in the oven with Parmesan on it and a little olive oil, and the grandkids like it like that. They'll just, if I have a sheet of it done, like we're going to have it with our meal, you have to run them out of the kitchen, because there won't be much left on the sheet when it's time to eat, because they just keep coming by getting it like a snack. And that's a healthy snack, I guess. Okay, that one's pretty tight. I'm going to keep filling the jars, and then I'll bring y'all back and show you the next step. I've got them filled, and I'm adding 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt. I'm going to put my boiling water on them. Get them pressuring here in a minute. This is a neat set of teaspoons. It's got a 3/4 of a teaspoon and a 1/2 tablespoon, and it's a pretty good measuring set. Okay, let me get my water boiling and on them, and we'll get them in the pot. Okay, y'all, I've got my workstation ready. I've got my rings, got my jars ready to fill with hot water. I've got my vinegar to wipe the rims with. This is to pick up my lids, the magnetic, and my debubbler. I'm going to set my lids over here where they'll be handy to get. Electric kettle had my water boiling, and I'm sure I'll have to do a little bit more. I don't think I need this. And I've got my other kettle on the stove boiling, so I should have enough. Let's see. I can't remember if I can do 7 or 8 of these in my canner. So I've got 2 more ready and a few more that I'm going to be able to use. I'm going to go ahead and work on these. Wipe my rim. Debubble it. I really don't think this is necessary with them all standing up straight like they are, but just to be safe, I'll go ahead and get these 3 ready to put in while the rest of my water's heating. And you don't want to just crank down boogity boogity. You want it snug, but not just crank down as like you were trying to seal it yourself. I'm going to get these in the canner. Okay, my kettle told me that it's ready. This one's a little too much, and this one could use a little more, so we'll share. Debubble it. I had these really packed, and when I put the water in there, there's wiggle room, so I guess that's why they say pack it, or you'll end up with a whole lot of juice and not much asparagus. Okay, these are going to go into the canner, and because it's a pint and a half, I'm going to do it as though it were a quart, and I'm going to do it for 40 minutes. So I'm going to let it start boiling a little bit. I just put my lid on, and of course there is no pressure. It has got to vent, and it'll vent for 10 minutes. That means my pressure is almost up to 10. I'm actually going to go to about 11, and then I'm going to set it for 40 minutes, and we will have some asparagus here directly. Show y'all something else that I use. This is a dish drainer that you get at like Bed Bath & Beyond. It's padded. I got tired of having to go get a bath towel and fold it up to put on the counter, so when I don't ever drain dishes on this, but I use it to set my jars out on when I bring them out of the canner, and it works perfectly. So just in case you haven't thought about that, That's another little tip, and I'll show you something else I do. Now, this is not rocket science, but I have me a little Ziploc bag, and when I take the bands off of my green onions or my asparagus or whatever, I have this designated little bag that I put all of them in, and then when I need to twist the top on a bag and fasten it, I have some good strong, and I know exactly where my rubber bands are that I use for the kitchen. So that's just something I do that I thought I would tell y'all about and you might be interested in. Okay, it's off pressure and my little thing has dropped down, so I'm going to take my weight off, and it's been a little bit, so I'm fixing to open it, and what I'm going to do is tilt it where I won't get a facial, and then I'll show y'all the jars inside. I'm going to get the lid off. Can't hold the camera and do that at the same time. Okay, there you go. I'm going to let them sit in there for a few minutes, and then I'm going to take them over to the red mat and just let them sit there till they cool. Okay, and here's the asparagus. You know, in the book, it said to stand it on its head when you packed it in here, but I didn't want to ruin my little tops. So I don't know if it would have floated up if I had done it the way they said or not, but I asked a couple of people and they said they always stand it on its bottom, so I don't know. It'll taste the same. Anyway, there it is. I've got 8 1/2 pints. So now y'all have my method for canning asparagus. I'm not saying that everything I do is perfect and I guess absolutely the right way, but it's the way I do it and it works for me. I make sure everything is sterile and I pressure it for the recommended time at the recommended pressure for my altitude, and then I take it out and let it seal, hear that popping, and then I have food to eat and I enjoy it. Now in years gone by, I would just can the fire out of something because it was available, and then you have it left over for several years. So I got to thinking, you know, we don't eat this, but about asparagus, I don't even eat it once a month. So I don't need 40 1/2 pints of asparagus. I just need occasionally, if my supply starts going down some, I need to do a little bit more. But I'm trying to be more sensible about how much I can of the things I can, because it's just me and Troy here. And like cooking for this channel, I give a lot of stuff away and invite people to eat because we don't eat it all. But I'm not going to over can. I'm going to try to discipline myself to do just enough, kind of figure it on how many we would eat in a year, and then have that much put up. And that way I'll have a little more room, because I'm basically a hoarder, and if something's on sale I buy it and the pantries are full, and I need to learn to be more realistic about things like that and just have what we need on hand. I hope y'all have a blessed day, and I hope you're learning something from the videos. And if there's something special that you do that I don't do it that way, email me. My email is going to be below in the show more box, and just put apron strings in the subject line if you email me. If you have a recipe you want to share with me, I would appreciate that. Or if you just want to chat, send me an email and I'll be sure to answer you back. The good Lord bless y'all and keep you, and I'm going to let you go where you can plan your supper for tonight so your family won't go hungry. I'll see you tomorrow.